Welcome to Freedom March. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Leland Miller. Today is the day. It is the day that we have finally put to rest our beloved brother Rodney Moncur at the St. Francis Cathedral. And oh, what a wonderful day it was. A few people in attendance. It was certainly a day where, in my view, Rodney Moncur has certainly galvanized himself in my mind and possibly in the mind of a few others as the Prince of the Poor. In a wonderful homegoing service, wonderfully clad in the Catholic flag, resting comfortably in his red oak, what I call jewelry box. We saw today the end of our beloved comrade, Rodney Moncur. And so, we all now know where it ends. We all now know the exact day. And for many of us, it is a very sad and somber day. For some of us, it is a day that has began the thought to so many new questions. And for some of us, it is the day of new beginnings. And so, we're so happy for those of you that could join. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I've got some things to talk about that on the other side of the break. But Bradley Roll, the spiritual advisor, joins me here in studio. Spiritual advisor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to be here.
You were in the cathedral today.
Yes.
You've laid your friend to rest.
Yeah, finally. It was a day full of thoughts, memories.
Yeah.
Watching the whole funeral service was rather enlightening. Wonderful service, to say the least.
And what a wonderful choir.
Yeah, they sang very well.
That boy could sing, eh?
They sang very well.
What a wonderful choir.
Yeah, seeing Rodney and his family, seeing Rodney, of course, early this morning at the Senate. Yeah. And of course, seeing his family, everyone come to pay their last respects, was indeed something very fascinating to behold. Yeah. Mixed emotions. Make
the
them
Catholics do it so well, though. The Catholics certainly get.
Yeah, they find a way to
the rituals down pack. I've got to give that to them. It's such a sleek service. Everything is so very well organized, so time, sensitive, etc., etc. And so today is day last, eh? And for whatever you believe about him, whether you believe that he was a good man or a bad man, the prince of the poor, rich man, no matter what your thoughts are about Rodney Moncur, what we know is that today, the 23rd of May, 2025, he has been committed to the earth to rest forever. So long, Rodney. We'll see you on the next side of the break. Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. Again, an interesting day. Not wonderful, but an interesting day. We're trying to see if we can quell our emotions. My emotions are a little mixed. I'm still trying to digest them so that I'm able to flesh them out well enough for you, eh? And hopefully, after I digest them, I'm able to regurgitate them in a way that causes pause for us all to consider, eh? But before we get to that, I've got the spiritual advisor with me, and of course, you know, he has Holy Scripture for us today. So, spiritual advisor, please tell us, what does the Holy Scripture have to say?
Well, at the funeral today, the service, like I said, was, you gotta excuse me though, I'm tired, really. I hardly rest last night.
You have to be tired, spiritual advisor.
Funeral,
so they asked me today, Miller, are you coming to the graveyard? And I said to them, I ain't no fool, no siree. I'm going to live to be 103. I'm going to make this place safe for you and for me because I'm no fool. And I said to myself, I came to the funeral, I was at the memorial, right? Best 203. I used to play basketball in the inner city. So rather than go to the graveyard, because I know what happens there, I actually went to get some lunch and to check in on some other things at work. And then, because I know I had the show at 4. Because the thermometer in my car says that outside is 106 degrees. Do you know that?
Yeah, it's pretty warm today. It was.
Yeah. So
it was rather warm. Maybe
so I certainly wanted to exercise a bit of prudence, spirit. But I applaud you for going that entire journey. You, Mr. Dion Delancey.
Yeah, from early this morning with the family. I just thought
been at it. Such commendable work.
I just thought what we would do is dedicate this whole day to be with Rodney family.
Yeah.
From about 9 o'clock this morning. Yeah. Right up to the end of the service and of course the committal.
Right.
It was a very interesting service, to say the least. I saw a lot of VIPs. I saw small and great there at Rodney's service. So a lot of people who knew him personally, friends, families, and onlookers were all there to pay their last respects.
Brother Jacks was there.
To Rodney. I have a list of folks that I guess I'll read these names after I'm done. But while you're showing those pictures,
this the boy who could sing. Go back to him. This boy could sing Heaven Down. This fella here from the choir. What the song was? Man, that boy could sing, eh? Well, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. This boy right here. What's your mommy name, you son? This boy right here could sing.
Yeah, it was actually John chapter 14, 1-3. Producer, I want to show the public something from the Red Bible today.
Okay.
That comforted me.
Okay.
John chapter 14, 1-3. Yeah. And then there's a question mark when you read John chapter 3. The next passage would be Acts chapter 1.
Okay.
9-11. I just want to show you how the Red Bible puts everything in place and perspective when you take a closer look at it. So the preacher talked about this today. Jesus comforts his disciples. Of course, for all those who have lost loved ones, you always wonder, is this the end of it? Is this the end of it all? Will we ever see Rodney Moncur again in life? Will we ever see any of our loved ones that we may have lost in the past? Will we ever see them again? It's a question mark. So Jesus comforts his disciples. He says, listen, do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I'm going to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back to take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. The King James Version has a very poetic style that I like, but this is the NIV. Let not your hearts be troubled. If you believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. Like Jesus said, listen, if this is just a figment or a lie, I would tell you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go, I will come again to receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. This is the King James translation. Now watch this. The question is this, because this question swirled around the Breakfast Club. And I saw Rodney looking back when one of the quote-unquote bright minds asked this question, well, did he go? And that's the question. Did he go? Because Jesus says, and if I go, I will come again to receive you and myself, that where I am, they may be also. That's the assurance. So the question was asked by one of the Breakfast Club members, well, do you think Jesus went? Acts chapter 1. Look at this, 9 to 11. The author Luke says, after he had said this, he was taken up before their very eyes, and a cloud hid them. A cloud hid him from their sight. They were looking intently into the sky as he was going, when suddenly 2 men dressed in white stood beside them and said, go ahead, producer. Verse number 11. Men of Galilee, they said, why do you stand here looking into the sky? This same Jesus, who has been taken from you into heaven, will come back. You see that? Will come back in the same way you've seen him go into heaven. He did go. So if he did go, he will come back and receive you unto himself, that where he is, there you may be also. So the author recorded that he did in fact go, and so he's making preparation, and one day he will return so that we may be where he is. I read 2 passages today, John chapter 14, 1 through 3, Acts chapter 1, 9 through 11. Read from the NIV. King James has a very good translation of those 2 passages. I entreat you to get your red Bibles and to examine those passages that it gives you comfort. The Word of God is always blessed. Amen.
Indeed.
Thank you, producer. Back
Thank
to
you very much, spiritual advisor. So I attended the homegoing service today for the late, in my view, great Rodney Moncur. And spiritual advisor, I have to say that I am not exactly sure how happy I was with the attendance. Take me to the picture. Take me to the ones that I haven't cropped out. Right? Because I have some friends that I share a watering hole with, right? And we are all approaching the twilight of our years. I have more years behind me, presumably now, than I have before me. And so my friends and I at the watering hole have this standing joke that the only thing in life that I'm working for at this point, like in my mind, I'm already retired. So the only thing that I'm working toward at this point is filling up a church when I dead. That's my only other life goal at this point. I want to live to be 80 without a chemically induced erection, and I want the church to be full when I die. Those are the last 2 things I have left. But I looked at this church, and at a quick glance, it could look full.
It's a fairly decent crowd.
I don't know.
It is a huge building.
Some of these people, because I imagine they anticipated an outpouring of social love and appearance for a people that have called this man their champion.
Notwithstanding that, remember now, the day is a week.
I've seen people showed up. I've seen people showed up to ILTV giveaways and wrap cars around lines and lines of traffic. I've seen cars miles long to get small trinkets from people that are generous, right? Take me back to the picture. What I couldn't understand is that today we memorialize and funeralize a man that is the champion of the people. And this is what disappoints me about the people. And today, day last, the finality of it all, the people do not show up for their champion. I share a watering hole with a man that we call affectionately Daddy, or some people call him Hot Dog. And he always says something that I never let slip from my mind. He says, in the end, only what you do for Christ will last, and the rest of it is for the fire. And if you don't watch out, you will go to God naked. If somebody don't put a coat suit on you, and that is if you're lucky enough for them to find you. And so I couldn't help but be a bit bothered by this attendance today. Take me to the one that I've cropped with the law enforcement officers. Because if we move that bunch of people, they are all to work. There are written orders for this group of people, follow me with this spiritual, for them to be to work. Those people are all at work. They have hours accounted for by the commander of the defense force through his captain of Coral Harbor, and I see that his deputy commander of the defense force is there in the person of Natasha Miller. Again, congratulations, commander, right? Captain. So if we excavated that group of people, right? I want to also suggest that the people that sit before that group of people that I have circled are also to work, because among them are the Chief Justice, who else did I see there? The Minister of National Security. But you could argue that those men have cleared their calendar to come, so maybe they are not to work. But certainly that little circle of people I have there, they are all to work. Let's take another picture from the ones that I have circled. Now you see the left side of the church. And so you see the choir seated, right? Now show me the picture with the choir circled. If we excavated that out of the church, because I'm assuming that in the Catholic Church, unlike in the good eccentric worship churches, the choir don't sing for free. So I suspect that this choir is also a paid choir, paid by the Catholic Church, because the Catholics like to pay their people to perform services in the church. So I don't assume that those people aren't at work. I have one more circle picture, don't I? That's it? All right. So let's go back to the 3 pictures that aren't circled. So if you look at the pictures of the church, see, this bothered me a little bit. Because everywhere that I've traveled over the last 3 weeks, people keep telling me, I gotta be there, I gotta show up. Mr. Rodney Moncur is my guy, and Rodney did this thing for me, and Rodney did that thing for me, and when I was at my lowest hour, Rodney was there for me. And I sat next to a young gentleman in the church who said to me that I had to leave something very important today to come, because if I only got to sit near this building for 10 minutes, I wanted to come and at least sign the book, because in my darkest hour, Mr. Moncur was there for me. The shirt say hero of the people. Down with the shirt say? You have the shirt with the hero of the people on it. Put it up. See, because I don't like letting people talk foolishness. Not that one. The one with him being the hero of the people. You all have said that he is your champion. You all have said that he is your leader. You all have said that this is the man that you follow. Then where were you?
Okay, so you're chastising the people?
I am. Because your argument to me on Tuesday was that they didn't show up on Monday because Monday was a Monday. You remember that being your argument?
Yeah, because normally memorials are not that well attended.
The Minister of National Security said it right here, that he has found that memorials are not that... Was it him or was it you that said? You said that. The memorials are not that well attended.
Yeah, and that's what I've noticed.
Today is day last.
But it's a Friday.
Spiritual advisor, I have watched people taking time off from work for far less.
It's a work day.
Nonsense. Nonsense. Nonsense.
So I'm not innocent.
Nonsense.
I know these people love Rodney.
Nonsense. And all I am saying is that the Bible says that wherever the treasure of a man is, there shall his heart be also. And what is the greatest treasure of a mortal man? Time. So I tell people all the time, listen to me. You listening to me? Zoom in good. Zoom in to me, producer. You can't invite me for no volunteer nothing. That requires my time. If all you want from me is a check, I'd much rather write you a check, because that check is for you to leave me alone. If Levin Miller stops his day and comes to see about you, know that you bear a special place in my heart, because as a man at 40 years old, more of my life is behind me now than the law presumes is before me. And consequently, I do not use that treasure lightly. And so I ask these people that call this man their hero, where were you on day last? When the annals of history are reflected upon, when we read the history books and we check the pictorial history of this country? Where were you? What could be more important? I get it, the Prime Minister had some things on his calendar, but he was at the memorial. The Deputy Prime Minister had some things on his calendar, that's fine. What about the people that have from their own mouth say that had it not been for the good graces of Rodney Moncur? You heard the Minister of National Security right here yesterday say that Moncur would volunteer the services of a QC for the poor. Then I asked the question, where was the poor? Today. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm emotional. But I will tell you this. It is my goal when I die to at least fill the church. Now, a funeral attended by people of great prominence. Former Prime Minister Christie in attendance. Chief Justice of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in attendance. A Carl Wilshire battle and all was there. Right? Man, and if Carl could make it.
Well, listen, the former Prime Minister Perry Christie was there. Michael Pentard was there.
Pentard was there.
Adrian White was there.
White Adrian was there.
The Honorable Barker's Roll and his wife was
Barker's
there.
Roll was
Keith
there.
Bell was there. The Chief Justice was there. Dr. Dahl was there. Mario Moxie was there.
I didn't see Mario Moxie. Where was he? I didn't see him.
Mario Moxie was there.
Okay, I'll take your word
Tommy
on it.
Tankers was there.
I saw Tommy.
His Excellency Sir Bastian was
I
there.
saw Mr. Bastian.
Gershon Major was
I saw
there.
Gershon Major.
Shannon Dawn Cartwright was there.
I saw Shannon Dawn
Wayne
Cartwright.
Monroe was there.
I saw Wayne.
Code Smith was there.
I saw Code.
Carl Bishop Bell was there.
I saw Carl.
Michael Abana Ellis
I
was
saw
there.
Michael.
Paul McQueenie was there.
I saw Paul.
The PS from the Ministry of Works, Anya Simlet was
I
there.
saw Anya.
It was a lot.
There were
people.
of great, what do I want to call them? My Grammy would call them
VIPs.
high society people. So the high society people were there, but no one ever accused Rodney of being those people's champion.
I would treat this kind of differently. Let me tell you why. I think you may be being a little bit insensitive, because I can tell you this. I am convinced, whether you see it the way I do or not, that those people still love Rodney, and I believe wanted to be there, but because of circumstances could not. And I believe work was one of those issues. If this film was on a Saturday, I can guarantee you would have seen
These
if
were
even
the
more
same
spectators.
people that demanded he have a state-recognized funeral. Remember, these were the same people. So they knew that one of the caveats is a funeral on Friday.
We'll be back.
Anyway, don't go anywhere. We're coming back after the break.
This segment of Freedom March is brought to you by Modernistic Garden and Pet Supply. For top quality dog food, shop online at modernisticgarden.com or visit our Palmdale, Carmichael, and Mullet Marathon locations today.
Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you for joining us on 103.5 FM The Beat, on 224, on 112, or on ILTV Studios if you are watching us there. I don't say that for you if you're already listening to me. I say that so that you can call your friends and tell them to cut that other stuff off and come over here and listen to us, because we're over here and that other stuff isn't worth listening to. Spiritual, I'm emotional about it.
Listen, the people love Rodney. They always will love Rodney.
Read the ad voice, because I can't know the people today.
No,
read the ad voice.
Don't do that.
No, I have to.
Listen.
Someone must defend the poor, yes?
But listen.
Hold on. Someone must defend the poor, yes?
Listen, you know, I can do like Rodney
and
said.
Rodney is the poor, yes?
I am 59.
Oh, boy.
I have some seniority
you
here.
You always 60 every time I come out.
I have some seniority here, and listen, the word of the wise is sufficient. Don't go down that road.
And I'm saying
trust
to you,
me,
spiritual,
listen, I know what I'm saying. Don't
only
go down that road.
Only despise wisdom, yes? The Father does what to whom he loves?
He chastises it.
Those he and so I want them to take this cursing out as a curse out in love. Like how my
Listen,
Grammy,
I don't care
what
what people says. Today was a work day. If this funeral was held on the weekend, I can guarantee you would have seen something completely different.
And I want to poke a hole in that argument right now. Rodney Moncur was funeralized among the Negroes. The church. I mean, this couldn't be.
Walking distance.
This church sits in the belly of Over the Hill. You let the man, hold on. You let Francis Xavier to give away free $10 gas vouchers, and Negroes with no cars would line the parking lot for the vouchers.
Are your dogs hungry?
Yeah. Tell me about the dog then.
Are your dogs hungry and tired of low quality food? Give them the best at Modernistic. We carry all the top brands: Taste of the Wild, Diamond Naturals, Victor, and Nookshuk at the lowest prices in town. If you're on a budget, we've got 50-pound bags starting at just $49, and for limited time, buy any large bag of dog food and get a $10 coupon redeemable on select dog toys and treats. If you can't make it, then shop online at www.modernisticgarden.com, and we'll deliver right to your door. Your pet deserves quality, your wallet deserves savings. Shop in store or shop online today. Hurry, offer won't last.
Thank you, spiritual advisor.
Producer.
Do you have a copy of this on the screen that I can show to the people? Okay. Well, I have a picture of it. I'll send it to you.
But before you do that, right? Producer, I don't know how true this could be, right? Somebody just sent me a text. I don't know how true this is. We'll have to find out if it's possible. But somebody said they just look at Eyewitness News Facebook page, and they saw where there were 38,000 viewers.
There was 13,500.
Could that be possible?
It could be possible. When I watched, there were 13,500.
38,000 viewers.
There were when I watched.
So that tells you something. People were stuck behind a screen and couldn't be there physically.
No, this ain't COVID.
But they got to sneak some time to work.
That spiritual advisor
on their Facebook page.
Do you know what I did?
Watch.
Do you know what I did in my former years? Do you know my vocation the vocation of my former years? I spent 11 years in service to His Majesty's military.
But did you serve in the IT part of it?
What?
Oh.
No, what are you talking about?
Don't the military have an ID? Oh, forget about that.
ID wasn't around when I was there. Everything was gun and boots.
Okay.
And then while I had it, Minister,
make your point.
Let them give me my two good standing thing of me. I never get them. I don't even know what I do. I just never get them. But anyway.
Make your point.
I have attended the funeral of senators whose names I do not even know, nor can I remember. Nor can anybody else except for the children remember. And those funerals were better attended. I have attended, here's the one thing life in the military will grant you. an opportunity to attend one bunch of funerals for a bunch of Negroes you don't even know. That's what life in the military will guarantee you. And I have seen Friday funerals far better attended than the one that is claimed to have been for the man that is the champion of the people and, in my view, prince of the poor. And although I thought today's ceremony was par excellence, there is no gaps in the procession. I think the production was phenomenal. Right?
It was great, the whole thing.
The lighting, the acoustics.
Yeah.
And listen, and the part I like the most spiritual.
The burial site.
When we start singing the hymn them, right? Because, I love up a good hymn. Because, I'm Church of God, but I'm Church of God with Baptist inculcation under the auspices of the one Reverend Dr. Charles W. Sanders. And so when we start singing hymns like And Can It Be, my favorite word in that hymn is shouldest, right? Because I don't even know how the hymn writer taught about the word shouldest die, right? I mean, it was wonderful. Could you imagine if it was actually something that the poor showed up for in a place where they dwell for a man that has gotten them services that many of them could not naturally afford? The KC was here yesterday and said that he has stood on his feet before a court because of Mr. Moncur's agitation. You know what it costs to hire Wayne Monroe by the day? $3,000. That's almost more expensive than Remdesivir. That is what the thing.
What do you mean by hire him for today?
If Wayne Monroe represents you before a court, you need $3,000, and that's win, lose, or draw.
If I lost the case, I want my money back.
Then he'll put you in court for the money, and you don't want that because it'll cost you $10,000.
You can't lose the case if I pay you $3,000.
No. How expensive you say the Remdesivir
That's foolish. It's only $150 to be honest.
That's what you say yesterday, man.
That's what we thought. We thought, Wayne Monroe, if I pay you $3,000 to represent me in court, you better win that case.
Win, lose, or draw, get Wayne money.
If you don't win that case, I want my money back because there ain't no way I spend no $3,000 for nothing.
And all I'm saying is, when Rodney Moncur so poor, he don't even have no middle name. Did you realize that?
Okay.
Only poor people have that. You know that? Poor people, Haitians and Chinese, they're the only people with no middle name. You know, that's kind of how you can measure it. You know that, right?
Okay.
I'm talking sense. And we know he ain't no Chinese, because remember the woman bring the Chinese baby home, and he say take the Chinese baby back.
These people cursing you right over, brother. That's all I can tell you.
Fine. Because
these people are cursing you straight to hell.
That's fine.
I understand, folks. I told him not to go down the road, and he refused. You know these young fellas don't listen to older men.
You have T-shirt? Because if you had time to come for the T-shirt, you had time to come to the church. You just duck wake for less. Every day when I duck wake, I just see people ducking wake. So how come y'all ain't duck the wake today? Your daddy on the building today. I saw 18,000 of them online, and I thought that was impressive. But we ain't in COVID. If Rodney had died in COVID...
See, and that says something to you. The mere fact is you saw 13,000 people streaming on that service. That says, it speaks volumes.
Spiritual advisor, I turn my TV on and go sleep.
These in particular are people who cannot make it there in body.
Show up for your champion. Show up. Think about, do you know how many nights Rodney didn't sleep on the side of Gina for these people?
But that's all
do you know how many times Rodney didn't attend things for his children for these people? Do you know how many times Rodney didn't enrich himself, didn't allow himself to be aggrandized for these people? And all I'm saying...
But he wasn't looking for a reward, you know.
I know.
He wasn't looking for a reward.
And that's exactly why you should give it to him.
So let's don't do that. He was not looking for a reward.
Well, I'm offended.
Well, okay. Let me tell you. I'm going to defend Rodney, the woman them, the baby them, the man them, the children them, and all of them. And my defense is going to be, these people still love Rodney.
I don't think they don't love him.
They always will love him.
I don't think they won't always love him.
I believe arguing about the funeral attendance is mute.
I'm right. I don't think it's mute at all.
It's mute.
Because I tell you one thing, if you don't follow the church when I did, my brother, when you sleep in the nighttime, it'll feel like water drowning you. If you all think I display, you could come to my funeral. You mean after all the work I done do? After all of myself I pour on the ground, basically, for people. you all even didn't come to the church on my last day?
But I'll say this much. In defense of the folks who I know love Rodney, after being around him for more than 14 years, the Apostle Paul says this, even though I am not present there in body, I am there with you in spirit. And I believe that it's exactly what happened today. There were people who could not be there in body, but in spirit they were, with the family, with the service, and with everything that happened.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think I attended Rodney Moncur's funeral? You thought I had nothing to do today?
You attended Rodney Moncur's. Listen. Now, listen, I hit Rodney hard sometimes. I hit you hard.
Sure.
You attended Rodney funeral today because you resigned your post from the fish fry. You don't have to go to work today. You didn't have to go to work. You resigned your post from the fish fry.
If I resign my post,
so you didn't have to go to work.
If I resign my post.
And if you didn't show up, then I'll be cursing you out. Because I know you had to go to work today. So you had to be there. Producer, let's see that long letter he wrote to the public about his resignation. You know of it?
See that? Good.
Now, take that on your Negro backside.
And listen. I like to talk my own business, so it ain't secret. Yeah. So, when I resigned my post, fine. Right?
So you ain't had nothing to do?
No.
And I shouldn't say it because that's embarrassing.
I had all...
But, I mean, you resign, you don't have a job. Now, the Prime Minister should be asking you if you had a real job now. But you do.
Of course.
Because you're waking Sabas. So
absolutely.
The Prime Minister can't do that to you. No.
But let me, because I like to, I'm so happy that you did this, because I like to talk my own business, right? Because if you talk your own business, they say the best way to overcome a scandal is to just say yes. When the man asks, did you impregnate the man's wife? Yes. Now there's no more scandal. We could move on. But if I say no, now you got to go practice your investigative journalism. But put the letter up, you have it, and all kind of other things, right? Let's go to the letter. You have the letter? I resign. I have one bunch of things to do today. And I ain't come because I'm the host of the show either.
Hey, I need to, that's a side thing. We don't have to do that.
No, put the letter up.
Oh, we continue to talk about Rodney,
put the letter up. And I ain't come because I the host of the show. You know why I come? Because when I was making decisions in my life that I couldn't talk to my daddy about.
I agree with you on that one.
I gone by the
spoke to Rodney.
Yeah. I gone by the pump.
And we spoke to Rodney.
And I talked to Rodney.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I will tell you that you talk to Rodney for 2 hours and you leave with nothing because Rodney tell you, I say that to you in a parable. And I say to myself, well, Rodney, you ain't say nothing to me. So the social media political trolls are at it. They have my resignation letter. That's fine. That's so small I know if you can read it. But if you zoom it in somewhere in there, what you will see is that it says that my contract ends on a certain date.
Next month, June?
August the 2nd.
August.
And from that date, I have no intention on pursuing an additional contract. You know what that means? No one bells this cat. So I'm very happy that that is now in the public domain. Because you know what that means? All of the buttflies and the red herrings and everybody that keeps saying that I out here tap dancing and singing for a supper.
Wait, like Tommy Tucker?
Well, the letter is clear. What the letter say? What the letter?
Your contract expires in August.
Yeah. This is the line I want to read. Right? Please note that in line with the terms of my contract, I am informing of my decision at the earliest opportunity to allow the maximum time for my replacement to be fully identified and trained, as the 90-day clause states in my contract, to avoid the learning curve that I experienced upon my arrival here. Yeah? Let's go to the line prior to that. I am particularly proud that due to the effective management since August 2nd, 2022, there have been no Kong poisoning incidents, and that the water quality at the north of Arawaki has greatly improved since the long-standing issue of sewer contamination was rectified. While I am pleased with these achievements, I acknowledge that there were logistical challenges, and I could actually call the name of the logistical challenge, beyond my control. And while I fully understand that progress takes time, I firmly believe more could have been accomplished if we found the correct formula to smoothen those logistical challenges out sooner or at all. So I have a job. Let's go to this line. I am writing in response to a letter dated February 11, 2025, regarding the re-engagement of my contract, which is signed by, I won't call a name on air. After careful consideration, I have decided that I will not be continuing in this position beyond the expiration of my contract. I took a day of casual leave to come to Rodney's funeral. You could go check the record. I am on leave today to attend Rodney's funeral. If we can scroll this up to the last line, that's the last line. Oh, yes, the last line says, I am truly grateful for the opportunity and I am excited about the future. On the last day of my contract, just in case they wasn't clear, I will not seek to renew or return for this position. And I look forward to exploring all new paths in my journey ahead.
Why? Why did you give this up?
Because unlike the Negroes that like tap dancing and panhandling and brass polishing,
this is just May. This is only May.
Yes, and
you get June, you get July. So they're going to pay you. They're going to pay you the remaining months of your contract.
I going to work. You going crazy? I am going to be the work.
Okay.
I took. You can go check the record. And you'll have with the thing name now. Go check the record. I am on leave today to attend Rodney's funeral.
Okay.
So tell them they got to try something better.
But when your contract expires in August, you have no intention of trying to get it renewed.
No, sir. Or return into the position, because there's a thing in law called the evergreen clause or whatever it's called. I'm not the lawyer.
But there's another
that if the contract expires and you continue to operate as if the contract exists, then you are operating under the tenets of the old contract. I don't even want the evergreen clause to kick in on me.
Okay, all right. Because sometimes that is getting embarrassing. But let me ask you a question. But there's still another year before the PFP.
You see how the minions have to make sure that you'll get your things tight? You see how your dog have no teeth? Check the date. Put the letter back up so we can see the date of my letter.
So why you don't want to go back to the fish fry?
Because I have done what it is that I've been asked to do, which is serve 3 years. I have, my contract asks me to serve 3 years.
So 3 years would be in August. It would end in August.
August the 2nd will be the end of the 3 years.
Okay.
And so, contracts end. There's nothing untoward about it. Isn't that exactly the thing they said about Raymond King's contract?
Yeah, you don't think it's a possibility that contract may have been renewed for another year?
Well, I thought it was a possibility they was going to Raymond King on.
Oh, we can't use Raymond King in this instance, man.
Why not?
We can't do that.
I say Raymond King, he looked like a Commodore. He have a wonderful wife and family. He's a Commodore. Certainly they're going to renew his contract. But they ain't renew his. So what indication would I have?
Something isn't adding up here.
What is it?
Or like the old people that say, something in the milk ain't clean.
Contracts have a date of expiration, yes? Mine will expire in 70 days. I have a contracted duty to advise of my intention.
90 days prior to the date.
According to my contract.
It says you have to advise in 90 days.
Yes.
That you don't have no intentions of wanting to return it.
And if you put the letter back up, producer, and if you check the date
I'll have to look at that,
because
I don't know if that's true.
Well, I
don't know if that's true.
The truth don't need to be believed. Come down some so they can see the date. Seeing how they take 1 minute out to look at the actual date of the letter, they would see that the same news.
Anyhow.
So I want to implore them to stop brass polishing. Stop brass polishing.
Notwithstanding all that.
If the man is your champion, Levon Miller got all kind of things to do. The fish fry probably on fire right now as we speak. I don't know. Because I was off today attending Rodney's funeral. You know what that means? I intend to go back out there tomorrow and fix whatever fire I meet burning now. Because I wasn't going to miss Rodney's funeral. Because when I couldn't talk to my daddy about some political maneuvers, I sat at the pump And while Rodney full, bottle after bottle after bottle after bottle to the pump, and 2 hours a bottle filling.
And guess what? I believe there are thousands and thousands of people who are just as appreciative.
Wherever the treasure of a man is, there will his heart be also. And I rest in that there.
Producer.
And so,
Producer, is it possible, based on the text I got, that 38,000 people may have viewed that service today?
Yeah, in
online?
total. But at its peak.
But that's remarkable. 38,000.
We ain't in COVID. That would have been phenomenal if we were in COVID. But we're not. When I sat as a contributor in another spot in this studio, we ain't never do 38,000 on no show we do. And we had the hottest show in town. And what I'm saying to you is, in COVID, I'd be fantastically impressed with 38,000 viewers. Nothing restricts these people. And I saw one person there wearing a mask today and couldn't figure out what was the purpose of the mask. I can't really tell you what I actually thought, not on TV.
Some folks, you wanted to know if Dr. Dwayne Sands was in attendance. He was. Dwayne Sands
was there, Brandon McCartney was there.
And also the leader of the opposition was in attendance.
You say Michael Pintard already, unless you're talking about the FNA. Because yes, if we're talking about the FNA, I was, play my jingle. If we're talking about the FNA, I was also there in attendance as leader of the FNA. Go ahead, play my jingle so these people could know that I was in attendance as well. We don't have it?
Do we have it?
We got it?
Yeah,
because the people love my jingle.
The people love Rodney Moncur.
They love Rodney, and the next thing, they love God, Jesus, Rodney Moncur, and then my jingle.
Cause we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. We are the FNA because we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. Tell them take the FNM, we ain't one of them. And the PLP is a gangster party. The COI is a party made up by just one guy. So if you wanna go all the way, come go with the FNA. We are the FNA because we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. When they shout PLP, just say no way. You're going with us in the FNA. The FNM done lost their way, and we don't play, we vote in FNA. The COI have a plan, they say, but the best plan is to go with the FNA. We are the F.
And so I want to say that I want to give the people an opportunity to make backup. You hear my jingle?
Yes, Tommy Tankos was there as well. I saw him.
You said it already. You have an old timer.
No, just these people just reminded me.
Whisperer, stop talking to you. Whisperer, stop talking to the spiritual advisor because you make him talk about my resignation letter. Y'all can't read. If y'all did learn how to read, y'all would know I still do work. Y'all ain't smart, I tell you.
But why
they ain't smart.
But why do what you do?
I tell you, they can't beat me and they can't beat me, and that's their problem with me. I ain't the best, but they can't find nothing better. Shout out to Mr. Bullet. I teeth that line from him while I was at Island Connect Wednesday. Mr. Bullet, that's your line. I teeth that from you. Now,
great. Wonderful.
I want to give the people an opportunity to rebound and redeem themselves, spiritual advisor. Because I am a man that believes in the redemptive quality of mankind by the hands of a redemptive God. Yeah?
So you want to open the lines?
No, reline my foot. I think we should have a march. Okay. I think that the people feel, or that I feel, that it was very interesting that a man that marches his whole life, we ain't march for him. We get in the car and drive to the graveyard, yes?
Oh.
Yeah, you mean to tell me a freedom marcher on a short march like that ain't had a march?
But don't forget now, this funeral was controlled by the government, you know. They have certain protocols.
And all I'm saying is...
They have certain protocols that they have.
And all I'm saying is now that the government has taken its tentacles out of it,
okay,
maybe we should orchestrate a march, I don't know, next week, Wednesday or something, and call it the final March of Freedom. You think Sebastian can help me with that? Because we just need to like fund it, right? I don't have no money, I poor. And then we can need government allowance, and we can get Wayne Monroe to help us with that. He's KC, right? And then we can need Shanta Knowles to help us. She's the commissioner of police, so she got to say yes. But I feel, you say do it on a Saturday. You know what they can tell me? The 7-day Adventists, them can't come.
It's only a couple.
So let's do it Wednesday.
Yeah, well, they don't count. There's only a couple of them.
Now, see, that offensive. I can't say that.
I have a reason for.
Oh, boy.
I could defend that too.
So I'm saying to you people who, in my view, have hurt me.
It's only a couple of them.
Because I am hurt. Because I would hope that when I die at 68, if I march the bottom of the sole of my shoes off for y'all, that y'all would fill up the church for me. Because that's the only two things I live in for now in my life. The other thing I say earlier that I'm sure I can repeat, but you can flag in me. And I could say that a chemically induced erection. I could say that. So I hope to not have a chemically induced erection. I want mine to be without chemical. And the next thing is to fill a church when I die. So maybe Wayne Monroe, you think we could pull off a march? You think the government will say yes? I don't know. We go into the break. Let me think about how to make it happen. Call me on the break, please. Let me know what it'll take to pull off a march, and if the boss, it'll fund it for us. We're going to the break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're listening to us on 103.5 FM The Beat. You're listening to us on channel 224 or on channel 112. That's on cable or on Flow. You're probably listening to us also over there on ILTV Studios on Facebook. And we're also on YouTube. I understand. You go to the top of the page, you click the little link that say YouTube, and there you'll be with us over on YouTube. Now, I know we got birthday shout-outs, right? It's 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Do we have any today? We do?
I think we definitely got one. I don't know if you got any. You got any? Because if you ain't got none.
Yeah, he sent me a list.
You got a list? Let's go to the birthday shout-outs because I got a couple of people I want to shout out.
Today, let's see. Here we go. Katie Menace. Yes, happy birthday to this proud mom. Katie Menace is celebrating the birthday today. Katie's all the sisters in the church. Sister Katie Menace, we want to wish you a happy birthday and we wish you many, many more to come. Okay, that's come from the entire family of the Happy Power Church of Christ. Kate Menace, happy birthday to you. Have a good one. Enjoy. Diana Curtis. Happy birthday to Diana Curtis. Celebrates the birthday today from her children, Dario and Dianca Curtis. Grandchildren, Dario Curtis Jr., D'Angelo, Marshall Conan, and Graham Curtis, mother, Hyacinth Stewart, sister Carol Bryce, brother Adrian Fox. Enjoy your day. We love you. Happy birthday to Diana. Oh, today's your birthday. Okay, happy birthday to you. Let me do this over again. I'm so sorry. Happy birthday to Diana Curtis. Celebrates her birthday today. It's coming from her children, Dario and Dianca Curtis, her grandchildren, Dario Curtis Jr., D'Angelo, Marshall Conyer, and Graham Curtis, your mother, Hyacinth Stewart, your sister, Carol Bryce, your brother, Dr. Adrian Fox. Enjoy your day. We love you. Happy birthday, Diana Curtis. Prezia McKenzie. Birthday greetings goes out to Prezia McKenzie from her mom, Barbara, father, Preston, sister, Precious, family and friends. Enjoy this day. Happy birthday to Prezia McKenzie. Angelina Cooper is celebrating her birthday today. Wishes going out to Angelina Cooper. Greetings coming from her husband, Hartman Cooper Jr. children, Carmel, Andrew, Kaliva, Cenero, Jade, grandson, Brandon, sisters Florence, Emily, Nibra, brothers Raymond and Haston. So happy birthday to Angelina Cooper.
You mean Haston or Haston? Haston sounds like a Bahamian name.
Haston.
Yeah, that's Haston.
Not Haston.
Yeah.
Haston. All right. Jeremy Lightburn. Good day. Is it too late? No. Happy birthday going out to Jeremy Lightburn, coming from his loving wife and kids. The brass section of the Shell Saxon Superstars and the Soulful Groovers SG Band. Happy birthday to Jeremy.
He's my schoolmate. I was going to own him before he said he was a Saxon, but since he is a Saxon, I have to now unown him.
Okay, so birthday greetings is going out to Janice McFall.
Miss Mark.
24th of May. Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, it is tomorrow.
It's coming from my husband, children, and all who love her. So, Janice McFall, belated birthday. Sorry.
Early birthday.
Pre-birthday shout-out going out to you. We hope you live to enjoy it tomorrow and many more to come. Then we got some anniversaries. Kim and Dino. Happy anniversary to Kim and Dino DeVoe, celebrating 38 years. Wow. Coming from your 3 children, your family and friends. Enjoy. They say they love you. Happy anniversary to Kim and Dino. Tribute. Big Pond. Both family representing for the late leader of the people them. Thank you so much for your tribute, the Big Pond family. And look like that's it. So I think you said you had some stuff.
Yeah, I got some shout outs. I want to send a shout out to Philip Micklewhite. I saw him this morning. I think I want to actually put in a petition. I don't know who I should petition, but I want to petition somebody. Who is this person? Who are these people? Oh, these are the people them. These are pictures of the people them sporting their Rodney Moncur attire today. The Bow family. The Bow family sporting their Rodney Moncur attire today in support of Rodney. And so Philip Micklewhite, I think I want to petition. I don't know who to petition, but I want to petition someone for him to become my favorite Micklewhite. I also want to shout out my sister, Lavon Miller. I know, don't blame me. My daddy, he must have thought he was going to have Alzheimer's at some point. So he named all the children Lavon, Levon, Lavonia, and Lavon. Hey, I was a baby. No one asked me, all right? But, so my sister, she lives in Grand Bahama. She's my favorite sister in Grand Bahama. And she's going to have a birthday on the 25th. But I think we won't be here, so I want to make sure that I do it today. So if you are in Freeport and you know Creative Nails and the Creative Nails family, you make sure you call Jody, that's what she's affectionately called, and you tell Jody that her brother, I'm not going to call you, I'm not going to tell you what she just called me, said happy birthday to her all the way over there in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Then, spiritual advisor, producer, you have to cue my jingle for me at some point again. I want to say a special shout out to Blossy, who I met today at the funeral of Rodney Moncur, who said that she would not miss this funeral. Wow. And almost like she walked there too. But Blossy says that she is one of the women them. And so she had come to pay her final respects to her leader. And she says, Mr. Miller, you see this radio in my hand, spiritual? She got one of them war radio. You know the radio what they was using in Vietnam? Uh-huh. She got one of them. She said, whenever the show come on, I just listen to it on my radio. And I thought to myself, where Blossy find this radio? This radio look like it still is used C battery. I don't know the last time I see a radio with it used C battery. But Blossy had her radio in tow, spiritual. It was so delightful.
No, C battery's a little short.
The big fat battery. I said, I wonder where Blossy find this radio from. But she assured me that she is an avid watcher, listener, and follower of Freedom March, and that under no circumstance would she have missed today's proceedings. So, Blossy, I'm sending a special shout out to you for your faithfulness to the movement and to the revolution, and for following Freedom March, and for accepting Rodney Moncur as your leader. Well, can we make him leader emeritus, or you can't be emeritus once you're dead? We got to look at the rules.
Rodney will always be leading the people.
I just want to know what the title will be.
He's the originator of it.
But you have to have the title. We have to get the title correct.
We'll fix it.
Right, so I think he might be leader emeritus. I ain't sure, because I don't know if he could be emeritus once you're dead. But certainly leader of the woman them, and for also accepting me as your interim leader and Mr. International as your interim chairman. We had this whole conversation in the parking lot, along with the two young ladies that I met today as well. And I didn't get their names. They ran off so quickly, but they came over and they said they wanted to let me know that they are still one of the women them, and that they're so excited about allowing me to be their interim leader until such time, and that they're so excited to have Mr.
You just lost that chance today, though. You lost that chance today. I can tell you that.
We'll see. I'll see the woman them when I go outside. Woman them, when y'all see me outside, tell me what y'all think.
You lost that chance.
And that they're so excited to have Mr. Dion Delancey as their chairman, and that they took time off from work to come and be with Mr. Moncur in his finality on earth. And they also asked whether or not I thought that me and Mr. International could handle it.
Keep that photo there.
And I told them, if me and Mr. International couldn't handle it, we certainly knew where to go to buy a handle to put on it.
Listen, we want to say a special shout out to decent Loretta Butler Turner. Miss Turner, you have turned mortuary services a couple notch up. It's just, I am just so impressed with your work. I am just so impressed with your work. You are on another level. I think I'm gonna dedicate that song that they normally play for Papa when he coming on stage. You're simply the best. You're simply the best, man. You're better than all the rest. You did a fantastic job with Rodney. Honestly, from the start to the finish. Rodney looked great. The funeral service was nice. Your mortuary services, your funeral services, your whatever it is that you offer, it was just bar none. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Now I see why Rodney often referred to you so much as decent Loretta Butler Turner. You did a fantastic job with your funeral services, and God continue to bless you and keep you, Miss Decent Loretta Butler Turner. Thanks so much for doing so.
And spiritual advisor, while moving around today, shortly after the funeral service of Rodney Moncur, I found today in Nassau, New Providence, spiritual advisor, 2 women. How many?
2
women who have pledged and have taken up membership. Guess where?
You tell me.
With the FNA.
Okay.
And so now I have a woman's branch leader. And I have a woman chief recruiting officer, Tashinka, who has said that she is not going to the polls to vote for nobody else. Who does she want, Mr. Producer?
Cause we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. We are the FNA because we don't play. Come go this way.
Standing member who was there from inception, you get to recruit people for the FNA. So Dashinga, you get to recruiting immediately. She said that she could think about 10 other women right now. And you know, once you get the woman, that's 51% of the population, you know that, right? How they could beat us? We could have me, we could have Lincoln, we could have Dr. Hubert Minnis, we could have Kwesi Thompson, because that's Dr. Minnis' nephew. We could have Adrian for a little bit, right? Hiram is a COI, but that ain't no real name, so he can come join us. You see, I didn't tell you, I tell Lincoln, come join me the other day, right?
Lincoln.
And what did he say?
Lincoln said you.
What did he say?
His answer to me is like
what did he say?
He said he won't be no leader.
No.
He said he said as long as he's not the leader, he doesn't mind.
No, that's what he say. What did he say?
He said as long as you're the leader.
Aha! And guess what?
But you understand,
as fate would have it.
That's a subtle message, though. You
As fate would
that?
have it. What am I?
I don't know.
Leader of the FNAs.
Okay.
And so Lincoln, and then we have to get Brandon McCartney because he's a light-skinned FNA. You always need one of those. And so we're gaining good traction. Dr. Minnis, you could just come and join us. And don't, you see these people putting people's name in your constituency that they get disrespectful, eh? You don't have to put up with too much more of that. How do you feel about that, spiritual advisor?
Anyway.
So my chief woman recruiting officer, Dashinka, my woman's branch leader, Miss Palissa, they are now the active members of the FNA, long-standing members from inception. That's their title. And I just have to get these other fellas to figure out where we can put them, and we should be on the move. And Michael Bindad, them should be no more. And that ain't me singing for my supper, because like you all could see, I resigned, so I ain't got no supper. Oh boy. Let's open up the phone lines.
To you freedom marchers who watch the show so regularly, today you set a record on Eyewitness News feed. 40,000 people viewed the funeral online.
Yeah.
We must congratulate. 40,000 viewers. It's phenomenal.
Is that in total?
Well,
let's check.
That's what it went to.
The one thing I like is the metrics.
40,000, and it's record breaking.
Let's check the metrics.
We're gonna open the lines 323-7775. You're free to call in to continue to give condolences, or you can call in to curse him out for being so insensitive.
Yeah, I like getting cursed out sometimes.
323-7775-698-0775. There's a couple other things for you to talk about. Prime Minister, is the money in the bank yet? The 120 million. Is it in the bank? 698.
Prime Minister today. The Prime Minister say wait and see. You know what waiting requires? Waiting requires.
Mr. Prime Minister, you ever hear about that wagon with plenty weight? Too much weight broke down the wagon.
Don't worry about that.
Is the 120 million in the bank?
Wait and
As a
see.
matter of fact, the Prime Minister said that people thinking that it's going to be an early election, they're delusional.
The entire, Bradley, I cannot let you mislead the public. This post is from 6 hours ago, right? Which means that's when it started, which would be 11 o'clock, correct? And the 11 o'clock post for today, total viewership is 40,600 people. So at no one time, there's 40,000
people watching.
Correct.
But all together.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Over
right.
6 hour. Hold on.
Over a 6 hour period? That's fine. It doesn't matter. That's great.
Which means 100 of them might have watched since me and you been on air, and that'll make me mad too, because come watch this. You can watch that later on tonight when Tingham them on.
Anyhow, but what is interesting, the Prime Minister, listen, we still got some more things that we haven't done.
Rodney dead, man. We can't talk with money.
Mr. Prime Minister, is the money in the bank?
That's
insensitive. Another thing I wanted to mention too. Somebody texted my phone, a retired banker. Please, you were looking at the funeral attendants and you're looking at certain government officials and certain protocols. Ma'am, I need you to go to the government website and look at the state funeral and what is entailed in that. Look at the official funeral, look at what is entailed in that, and look at the state-recognized funeral. This state-recognized funeral does not require the Governor General or the Prime Minister to attend it.
But the Prime Minister was in attendance at the memorial, so we have to give him a blind for that.
Yes.
I have a better question. Why Rodney don't have no middle name?
I don't know.
Like, I thought that was so strange. Like, I thought they just was calling his, like, Rodney Moncur because they did, like, he had an awkward middle name that he didn't want nobody to know. But no, his obituary, which is his final rites, it's literally just Rodney.
That's
Rodney don't
fine.
have no middle name.
That's fine. You don't...
Only Chinese don't have middle name, and Haitians. Everybody else have a middle name.
What Jesus' middle name was?
Of Nazareth. So of.
No, of Nazareth means where he was from.
No, you asked me a question, I answered you.
Jesus, he had no middle name, okay?
Producer, if the man named Jesus of Nazareth, what is his middle name? Of.
No, Jesus was from Nazareth. That's where he grew up, in Nazareth. That's why they call him Jesus of Nazareth. It's almost like Bradley from the Bahamas.
But you don't name Bradley from the Bahamas. You name Bradley Benjamin Roll.
No, my name is Bradley G. Roll.
What did G stand for? Gorgeous?
Going to heaven.
So I just thought that was funny that Rodney ain't had no middle name, because my Grammy ain't had no middle name. And then you know what we found out upon her death, spiritual advisor? That her middle name was Suki. And that's why she never used to let nobody know her middle name, because apparently back in the old days, old people had a guy that used to come around and take the baby name on slate. You know about slate? Mm-hmm. And he would write your name on slate, but every settlement he go to, someone will offer him a bear. And he had to go back to catch the mail boat in order to carry the names the family had. And my Grammy born in Camps Bay. And I think my Grammy middle name was supposed to have been Florence Suzanne Roll, but the Registrar General boy couldn't spell Suzanne.
We got some callers?
So he just put, but we ain't open the line yet. We tell him he was scared.
Yeah, it's open now.
Not you, just keep asking. Hold on. If I wrong, tell me. I say we should open up the line. Then the spiritual advisor start asking, but if the money in the bank and where the Prime Minister been.
I was waiting for people to call.
I can't tell you the story, but how my Grammy ended up naming Suki.
Go ahead.
And then, when the man come back to the Registrar General office, he write my Grammy name down as Florence Suki Roll.
Wow.
And she never used Suki in her whole life until on her obituary. So when I went to Rodney's funeral today, I thought I would see Rodney's middle name. Well, interestingly to find,
that's fine.
Rodney don't have no middle name, which I thought was interesting. And one last interesting thing that went through my mind is, well, since I don't have no job and Rodney dead, I mean, what happened in the Rodney crime consultancy job? What happens to that? Does it just go away?
Yeah, it's just gonna go away.
What about what about the gratuity and stuff? Like, does that also go away?
Well, you have to speak with the Minister of National Security on that. But I tell you one thing.
I just thought about it.
In August, I wonder if I need to put in my application now for this fish fry job. Jomo, you're just like Omo. Mm-hmm. This man getting ready to resign, all right?
I ain't getting ready to resign. I resign.
This job, Waki, I think I could do it better than him.
Use the F&M. You could never do it better than me. The last two.
So
you know, they had
where
two
do I
F&M.
go to apply?
They had two F&M doing my job.
Do I go to apply for this job?
The Ministry of Public Service.
I can use this job, man.
The Ministry of Public Service. They had two F&M doing my job. And them two F&M together, the two of them together,
Paul William, who else?
Weighed about as much as a Jamaican $20 bill.
Paul William Bishop Minute?
You heard what I said? The two F&Ms that they have doing my job.
Bishop, you hear that?
Weighed about as much as a Jamaican $20 bill at my job.
Bishop,
they keep telling me, but drawing board and on the table, this thing was on the drawing board. Ain't no drawing board in the ministry. That's the problem. They must be doing at home. Because I checked this whole ministry. You know what ain't in the ministry? No drawing board. So I don't know what these plans was that they had, because they say it was on the drawing board and ain't none of them there.
If y'all give me this job to the fish fry,
you could be just like them other two.
I'll make sure some fish is on the fry.
Open up the phone line, yeah? What they give you all? You see, don't start when your hair trim like this. You don't stand in the hot sun for long periods.
No, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Hello, good afternoon.
You got to turn them up fast,
Spiritual
producer.
advisor.
Hey.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
Mr. Miller, sorry about that. Mr. Miller, listen. I followed Mr. Moncur for the past, I think, about 15 years. When Mr. Moncur first started out, he had on a chef cap, chef dress, uniform, and we marched with him on Blue Hill Road.
I was there.
I was there. I didn't even know a spiritual advisor.
I remember seeing spiritual. I was there.
I went on 2 marches.
One of those who follows Mr. Moncur wherever he goes, because he was making sense to the Bahamian people. Of them who could not go to the funeral today. I could not go. But I cherish Mr. Moncur on TV. I enjoyed his time and his show when he was living. I really enjoyed him. I couldn't wait to get home, to cut my TV on, to get on, to sit down and watch Mr. Moncur.
Agreed. But
Now,
the people them block up the whole of Michael Road for miles.
You got to be careful of what you're saying.
Listen
A
what
lot of people just had to work.
Listen to what I'm saying. Can I?
No,
Can I
hold on.
go on.
Hold on. A lot of us just had to work. I am not saying that the Bahamian people did not love Mr. Moncur. I really do love Mr. Moncur because we used to sit down. Sometimes I used to call him and he used to talk sense to us. Okay? Now, whatever you think, and you are saying that the Bahamian people really didn't come out to the funeral, we had to work. Okay? I know I had to work, but like I'm saying this now, his wife, and I hope that
I know what happened to the call.
We lost your caller?
Mr. Moncur didn't know that he was going to die. To see that the Bahamian people who buried him with love and dignity.
Yes, ma'am.
This man was buried properly.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't care what no one may say about Mr. Moncur. He was buried with love and dignity. And
Yes, he was.
love it.
I don't
The
disregard.
Bahamian people love him. And you have a good evening.
Yes, ma'am, you too.
Now, let me make sure I answer these one by one. I don't disagree with her. I thought the service was par excellence. I thought that the procession was unmatched. I thought that the service galvanized Rodney Moncur as the prince of the poor. I am saying to you, though, I think the poor people let their prince down. When Miles Monroe died, what day of the week that funeral was?
A Thursday.
The church was full?
I didn't go.
They blocked up the whole of Carmichael Road. I know I was a bus driver at the time.
Most of those people came from abroad.
And because the rich people come to look at their friends. And all I'm saying to you is, they couldn't even open up Miles Monroe coffin, but you're gonna block up the road for that. Rodney Moncur live among these people. He is their champion.
I think you better leave that one alone for
Oh
now.
boy. I tell you one thing.
Leave that alone. A word to the wise.
It was disappointing in my eye. Now, I got 2 eyes, so maybe if I close one, I'll see something different. But from where I see it, I thought, do you know what actually shocked me, spiritual advisor? When I was able to park in the church parking lot, I had to then make up in my mind that I had to park down the hill and walk up the hill, right? And I say, well, let me try. And I said, well, Jesus, I could park in the church parking lot. Well, they must be shuttling people here. When I get inside the church, I sat in the balcony by myself, me, God, and the 3 cameraman and the 6 policemen. That's all I said.
Oh, we're at the 5:30 mark. Okay.
That's all I said.
Continue to hold, folks, if you can.
He is the prince of the poor, man. And I think that the poor just didn't come and see about their prince, spiritual advisor. I think I'm at liberty to say that. I think if a man pours himself out, his people should come and see him. If I'm wrong for that, then I am prepared to die on this hill. Anyway, my name is Levan Miller. We'll be right back after this break. So the phone lines are open. We're going to go straight to those. But while the phone lines are open, right, I think that to repent for your transgression, right, I think that we should petition the government to every year on the debt, not the debt, what it is, the burial, on every year on the burial of Rodney Moncur, we should have a 1-hour march through Beantown to mark the end of the Prince of the Poor. And we in Monroe, I think we should have the first one next week, Wednesday. And I think every year from that day on this day, the 23rd of May, and if it falls on a Sunday, we'll have it the Monday. And we just march for 1 hour for the Freedom Marcher. How does that sound? I like that. You see why I have to leave Arawaki? Because they ain't gonna let me use these bunch of good ideas.
I think we should have a statue or something erected with Rodney and his salutes.
We ain't get a statue for Amos Roll yet.
Somewhere.
We ain't get a statue for Amos Roll yet, Spiritual. Let's try reach for something we could get.
So let's go for that.
Yeah.
We got some callers. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a couple of things to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
And it's almost difficult to continue, but I want to start off with Rodney funeral, Moncur funeral.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was also disappointed with the amount of attendance because Rodney was a man never missed church. So his very own church people should have been there, coupled with the people he catered to in life. All right? So I'm on the side with Levan Miller with that. It should have been more in attendance. Now, my thing with this type of service they had for him, a lot of times you are locked out because so many of these different people from the different organizations and ministries are in place. So that don't always encourage people to come out. And then they said they were going to have tents. It's too hot to be outside with tents. So I would not leave my air conditioner to come in a tent. But truly more people should have been in attendance to the church. Now, the next thing, Levan, Mr. Miller, sorry. You are saying to come with the FNA. I feel almost confused with what I'm hearing on this show, what Moncur had. You said Sylvanus was eating too much corned beef in the night.
When he go sleep, yeah.
Now, what are you eating? What Levan
I
eating?
know it sounds like you've been eating corned beef too.
But I just tell you, I find 2 women today who run me down and say that they want to sign up today to be
an FNA.
An FNA as of the day on.
I heard that. But what I'm saying is, it sounds like you've been having plenty corned beef too with this FNA.
But you think them 2 women eat corned beef?
You got to choose this party you going with.
I just told you.
All right?
I'm an eye for Tanya FNM, right?
No, I like the song you have, the jingle. But listen to me.
Yeah.
You cannot use a brush to cut paint one party and say, what you call the PLP, you say they are gangster. Mm-hmm. Well, who in it gangster? You know the gangsters, point them out so they could get rid of them.
You know like how...
You can't use that as a song.
Hold on. You know like how Sylvanus Petty say... You know like how Sylvanus Petty say, everybody's practicing little nepotism because all us related. That's gangsterism. You there, caller?
Literary man, you know you got to come up with evidence for law.
I telling you
all right?
now.
If you got some gangsters, point them out so you could get rid of them.
Sylvanus Petty.
Okay? That sounds like corned beef talk. S.A.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, S.A.
Yes, ma'am.
Your thing is the Red Bible.
You need to get one. You have one?
You see what I mean? You see?
What?
That's where I am. I
mean in a good way.
I see Red Bible. I see Blue Bible. I see all kind of... No, don't talk over me, S.A. Don't talk over me. All color Bible.
Yeah.
Now, when you say get the red Bible, like only your Bible is the right one.
No,
Let me know that.
no. See,
What you mean by that?
I don't mean color. I'm sorry, I should explain it. When I say you need to get a red Bible, I'm not talking about the color, R-E-D. I don't mean that. I'm saying you need to get a R-E-A-D Bible.
Yeah.
You need to read it. That's all I'm saying. You understand that?
Well, I don't know if that comes with get.
Pardon me?
I don't know if that comes with get. R-E-A-D. I don't think it comes with G-E-E.
Let me ask you a question. Have you read Acts 2 and 38?
Listen to me. Essay?
Have you?
Essay.
Just answer me. Have you read Acts 2 and
No.
38?
Just listen to me. I can tell you right now. I want you to listen. I spend my life reading the Bible.
Really?
Okay? And definitely,
Okay.
the first part of the book, the New Testament, would definitely have been covered in my reading. But what I get from you is this red Bible, what you all use in your church, is the right Bible. Now, if my understanding of it is wrong, well, help me with that.
Okay, well, let me help you.
But that's all I understand
Okay.
by you get this
No
red
problem.
Bible. 'Cause I do King James.
Okay, when I'm talking about a red Bible, I'm talking about a Bible that you've read and understand or understood. That's what I mean by that. A lot of people don't have a red Bible because they don't read it and they don't understand it.
They have an ornamental Bible.
Yeah. They just have a Bible sitting someplace in their house gathering dust. But they haven't read it.
Yeah, well, see, our understanding of get a red Bible differ. You see, get a red, for me, that means collect.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Play on words.
I would
hold on.
appreciate
Come on a second.
you
We got some other people waiting now.
She said it's the last one.
This your last point?
position.
Say it again.
Over
No, would you
the
say?
political position. Let's keep it in the clear. That's what Moncur used to do. He used to do the political. So let Levan do the political. Stay on the Bible.
Well, call
That's
it.
too much, huh? I don't think so.
Call it.
All right, thank you so much.
Good afternoon.
All right,
Call
you
it.
take
If he
care.
stay on the Bible, how the whisperer can talk to him. The whisperer have to tell him things like, I resign. So when the whisperer tell him that, right? The whisperer.
Carlton Seymour, you see I'm on the show live. Why you calling my phone, Carlton?
Carlton in the whisperer.
Carlton, you ain't safe. Carlton, call me after 6
Well, the
please,
whisperer
okay?
just message you on the show.
That's Stephen Seymour, brother. Welcome to Free
Let's take another
March.
one.
Welcome to Freedom March, call you live.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
I was calling this one of the woman them and a part of the FNA.
Okay.
I have a
Welcome.
problem with the human people not wanting to listen to the truth. If you said he was your leader, then be in attendance. Why is Levan wrong for pointing out the truth?
That's all I ask.
He is being insensitive.
No,
It's the
okay.
correct
Put it in
term.
the picture. Put it in
If
the
the
picture so
cap
they can
fits you,
see
you
it.
wear it. I run my own business. I could not attend.
Right.
Okay?
So
He's not talking to me.
So what's your point?
But he's talking to those said who is jump on a flight to go away and call out, go to Junkanoo, go wherever they want to go. That's who he's talking to. So y'all just hold yourself accountable.
You believe you're the only person on business day?
No,
Oh.
Spirit Advisor, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
I'm telling you, like he said, people call out for less. That's who he's talking about. He's not talking about us who had prearranged plans and just could not make it.
Yeah.
You understand? Like he said, when you give out things for free, the line is belong. How much church was given out to the ILC studios?
Okay.
1,000, and I see 1,000 T-shirts
So-
in that church.
Thank you.
I wasn't gonna say that because they can say I throw in loners. We give
No,
out
I won't say
1,000
it.
T-shirts, and I
Because-
see 1,000 people. That's what I
On
want to say.
Facebook, run on with the most. Be real about yourself. If y'all say he was a leader and he was that sentimental to you,
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah.
So you
Don't
say-
let's talk this.
Okay, so
Yeah.
ma'am, you say the reason why you didn't show up is because you have a business, right?
No.
What did you say?
Yeah, and my employees already had plans for vacation
Right,
for this,
she had
so I had to
pre-approved
cover their
plans.
shit.
She had to work.
Oh, so you had to, so are you your own boss?
Yeah,
Right, so
I'm self-employed.
right, so I have a business, I'm my own boss, but I still came to the funeral.
No, but you are not
I-
actively on hand.
I let my boys stay
I'm
home
a
today.
chef.
I let my boys
If
stay home
my
today.
person who cooks for me, because everybody can't cook, play in my pot.
Okay.
If I am a chef, right,
Mm.
and my chefs that always oversees everything when I'm not here. They are traveling, prearranged plans. Before Rodney even passed away, already bought their ticket.
Right. Okay.
I must close down or put somebody else in the pot, and then they cook bad food, and then I lose all my customers. Come on.
Or they buying your building now. No, and I get that.
You understand? I can't take
you
I
can
understood I could not make it, and I am not offended because he said what he said, because he's not referring to me.
Right.
You understand?
You
But the people who he is referring to, just be accountable. Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say. Let's not get offended of what people... We want people to tell us the truth, or we want people to babysit our emotions.
Yeah.
Remember what you said today.
And all I'm saying is, if we move the law enforcement people who we pay to be there, well, the wind tell me... Catholic,
it was empty.
Catholic don't
you
pay
see on the
quiet.
next side of the benches?
Man, I
it
tell
was
you,
empty.
Me, Jesus, 3 cameraman, and 6 police sit upstairs.
I've been to a wedding at that church and it was fuller than that.
Man, I believe if they were spaying and neutering puppies, we'd had more people in there. All right? I've seen people
you all have a
show
wonderful
up for
day.
Yes, you do the same.
60% of the Bahamas, I think
care
the number is 60% of the Bahamas is employed by the government of the Bahamas. Y'all is stuck work for less. On a Friday? Come on. And guess what? And just I want to point this out.
Give me a second.
Hey, hold on, I want to tell you this.
Okay.
I work for Jomo. Guess what? I was there, and guess who else was there?
I think I saw Jomo.
Jomo was there.
Yeah, I saw him. Is he?
So who do I work?
Good afternoon.
Let me take this quickly.
Okay.
Levon and Freedom Marches.
Hello.
I've been trying to call in, and I'm in Canada, so I'm unable to. But I have never been so aggrieved. I've never been so disappointed in a human being. Today, Rodney Moncur was laid to rest, and his body is not even settled good in the ground yet. And Levon is on Mr. Moncur's show, sitting in his seat and speaking so insensitively and so carelessly to his legacy and to people's affection and love for Mr.
I won't
Moncur.
accept that.
Levon,
I won't accept that. I will not accept that.
I will
not accept that.
He himself said that he didn't stay because he's a young man. He have sense and it was too hot.
I will not accept that. That's not the same thing.
Speak to the love that us.
I ain't accepting that.
The entire Bahamian community and even abroad
you can hang up on that because I ain't accepting that. I never want to. I'm not accepting that.
And allow his wife.
I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that. I wish I had a lightning bulb to point at this phone. Never one time had I ever questioned the legacy of Mr. Moncur. As a matter of fact, I said he is the prince of the poor. As a matter of fact, I defended his wife and said, think about the amount of times I'm not listening to this woman. She's not safe. You think I listening to her? Voldemort. Think about the amount of times Gina had to live her life without Rodney. You think that woman didn't expect to see the people that he vests his life in that building? Think about his children. You think they didn't expect? It's cold in Canada, and I think that's what's happening over there. Don't listen to that woman no more. Matter of fact, you should block her number. What I'm saying to you...
She's a friend of mine, so I can't do that.
And I'm telling you, your friend is in the dark. What I'm saying to you is never one time have I challenged Rodney's legacy or any of that thing. I am sitting in Rodney's chair. I am on Rodney's stage. And what I am telling you is the reason I sit in this chair is because of what Rodney has done in my life. The reason I attended the funeral is because of what Rodney has contributed in my life. And the reason I didn't go to the graveyard was because it doesn't matter what physical shape I am in. You all anticipate that I will come here and produce this show. So you know what? In respect of Rodney's legacy, I wouldn't come here and give you all a half-baked show. And so I need to go and have myself something to replenish my natural body so I could come here and tell you all how I think Rodney would have cussed you all out for not coming. Not listening to that woman again. Let's take some more calls from over here. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello, am I on?
You are.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Miller.
Present.
I wish to endorse what you have said in terms of the attendance at Mr. Moncur's funeral. Mr. Moncur, he was there for so many of us. Even if you weren't there with him, it's amazing how he represented the masses, the poor. I mean, I was disappointed that the church wasn't full.
They failed him.
I was. And I really thought that he would have more persons in attendance. I tell you, I came to the funeral not knowing exactly how I was going to get back home. In fact, I was the last one to leave the church, waiting for a ride. But I thought, based on the contribution Rodney Moncur made to the poor and the suffering and all that, those persons who came to him at any hour, he gave his number and all that, I really thought there would have been more persons in that church. But Mr. Moncur is now gone.
Yes.
Father Culmer gave a beautiful sermon.
He did.
And in terms, somebody said that a lot of people should have been, all the people should have been there from the Catholic Church. But I think it was well attended by those persons from St. Joseph Parish. Rodney is gone.
Yes.
Can we just celebrate his name?
Indeed.
And his work?
Indeed.
And all that he has done for us?
Indeed. And that is
Let him go. Let him go in peace. And Mr. Miller,
yes.
I can understand how you feel. You're only expressing your disappointment.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
Now that I'm finished with my dear Mr. Moncur, and I'm going to miss him, because when I called spiritual advice, they didn't want me to talk to him. But he would just, I don't know what he used to say, but eventually I got to say something. I got to say what I was calling for. But Mr. Miller, on a more personal note with you, FNA, what is the meaning?
Me, Dr. Minnis, Lincoln Dean.
Hello?
I telling you now, the FNA is me, Dr. Minnis, Lincoln Dean, Brandon McCartney, because we need a light-skinned one, and Crazy Thompson, because that's Dr. Minnis' nephew.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you the makeup of FNA. FNA stands for what?
For us, that's
PLP is the Progressive Liberal Party, eh?
Yeah.
And FNM is what? Free National Movement?
Right, and we is FNAs because we.
So what is FNA?
I telling you now, we is FNAs because they wouldn't let us be FNMs.
Anyway, Mr. Miller.
You ready to join us?
I don't really belong to any you know how I do it?
So come to us with open arms.
Based on what you have to say to me, if I think you could represent me, and then also too, Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little bit of advice. You know what your campaign seemed to be? When the young women see you, they could embrace you.
So I could see.
But you've given the older woman to somebody else.
He's the chairman.
So that's prejudice.
No. I want them to have specific attention. You see? See, because, it may become a time when I become so overwhelmed, the love and the compassion that I've received from all of the women them sometimes can be overwhelming. So I want to say that because of who I am, I want the women them to have specific attention. And so in my leadership tenure, what I intend to do is have what you call...
Mr. Miller,
yes,
let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you. Do you know what you are creating when you talk about the young women embracing you and hugging you and you hugging them?
I just want to test to see
you
how
don't want to
safe
last
they
too
are.
long.
I want to test to see how
I could
safe
tell
they are.
you get beaten up. You're safer with the older women, man.
You know something? You might be on to something. I can look into that.
Anyway, both of you continue to do a good job.
And we have an application.
And keep Rodney Moncur's memories alive.
Yeah.
As long as you possibly could.
Indeed.
Thank you both.
We have an application for you to join the FNA at any time that you like. Let's take another call. We are FNAs because they wouldn't let us be FNMs. That's why. That's what we are. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Hi.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
After the lady ahead of me spoke, you know, I really wanted to cuss you out, Levon Miller.
Oh, Lord, don't cuss me.
Because I feel like today should have been just really remembering Rodney Moncur.
Yes, and reflections.
You know, it really was about reflecting about him. And I didn't want it to be so negative.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Rodney came to us, he expressed himself, but he always left things positive. And so I don't really want to say booyah to you.
Yeah,
but
don't do
it's
that.
like, I feel like I want to say that, but I don't want to leave Rodney's legacy without laughs and jokes and something like happy.
I have something you can tell him. I have something you can tell him, and it won't be offensive. Guess what it is?
What's it?
Tell him he ain't safe.
Yeah. You ain't safe, Mr. Miller. You know, and another thing that I thought about as I was listening to the lady, you know, Jesus, he is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Listen, you better believe it. You better believe it.
None of his disciples came to his tomb. None of his disciples came to watch him get crucified.
They deserted him.
They deserted him.
Yeah.
But when he rose again and he came to visit them,
He called for them.
He went to
called for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rodney Moncur, I believe, did not do what he did for the pomp and pageantry.
I agree.
He did it because of his heart.
Absolutely.
I 100% agree.
He did it because of his heart.
That's all right.
And I don't care about the pomp and pageantry, about how much people could come to my funeral. I care about what the Lord sees.
Oh, praise the Lord. You said
and what the Lord sees in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only thing that you worry about. You're worrying about what people do. We don't know where Dr. Miles Monroe end up in life, in death.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know where nobody can end up. But what we do know is that Rodney had a heart for people, and God is with, and he is with God.
Oh, praise the Lord.
Okay, and that's how I want to end that.
We thank
You
you so
ain't
much.
safe, leave on.
That's something, man.
God, what you mean?
He needs,
You ain't safe.
yes, he needs to repent and be baptized.
Safer than us. We from the Church of God.
Now,
When I have the march, because when I get Wayne Monroe to convince the cabinet to let us have the march for Rodney to be in town, I hope I see you on the march. Don't tell me your heart was there.
Oh, no, I ain't going to say my heart was there.
All right.
All right.
Good.
Thank you so much, caller. God bless you. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live. You got about 2 minutes.
Hey, Spiritual Advisor, what's up?
Yes, sir. How are you?
It's Molly here. I didn't see you from even the party in March. That's the last time I saw my good friend, Mr. Moncur, live.
Wow.
At my cousin's party.
Wow.
But, you know, listening to the new upstart we have on the show, you know, that's why I can call him till he earns the right for me to call him Mr. Miller. You see the little upstart there knows nothing of how to connect with the poor. You're trying to rile up something because people didn't show up. Remember now, Rodney Moncur also had people in the family island riling behind him.
I know.
Hold on, let me finish. I hear you had to chat at Jessica.
I could control the producer though, so I could tell the producer put you on pause. I know if I could let you throw an insult at me and then listen to the rest of what you have to say. You could go as spiritual advisor the rest of that. Take me to the next call, please. Yeah, you can't insult me because the producers click the button when I ask him to. Come on. If you want to say something to me, you could just say it. But if you insult me...
What does he mean by upstart?
Sure. And he ain't poorer than me either because I born Minnie Street in Gordo Avenue. My Grammy raised me in a wooden house and it was 18 children and I was born to a single unwed mother. Statistically, I should be Pookie. Hey, caller, what you got to say?
Hey, good day, Levon, spiritual advisor to the nation.
Good afternoon.
You know, my good friend, the lady before the last caller said just about everything I wanted to say, but I want to top off with this. You know, as long as you are there alive and feeding and catering and pampering the poor will be with you.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to understand now that Rodney has moved on to the other side.
Indeed.
To be with the Lord. Now the poor is looking for their next champion.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have time to come and sit in a funeral to a man who has been there for them. But they're now in search of a new champion.
I agree.
Somebody who can feed them and help them and bless them and cover them while they are living.
I agree, caller. Can I ask you a question, though?
Sure.
What about the man's wife?
Well,
how many times has that man's wife sacrificed her husband? And on how many times has that man's wife sacrificed her husband? And on the one occasion that as the poor, you got a chance to give her back something, you didn't show up.
Well, hopefully we will learn from this, and hopefully there will be some good citizens in this country who would reach out to her and help her as often as they can. You know, including I, myself, and you, Mr. Miller, spiritual advisor.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we can reach out to her and help her in every
Amen.
aspect of our life.
Amen.
We appreciate you got the last say for the day. Anyway, it's Friday. Y'all can start hooliganism. Do everything in your power to don't kill nobody this weekend. But more importantly than that, make sure nobody don't kill you. And if you do that, next week, I'll be here and so will the spiritual advisor.
If it's the Lord's will.
We'll see you right here on Freedom March, only on ILTV Studios on 103.5 FM, The Beat. We'll see you Monday.